Josh Reddick finds a home with Astros. Nearly 10 years after being drafted by the Red Sox, Jason Reddick is a playoff-tested veteran himself, this time on a Houston Astros team with World Series aspiration, a Houston Astros team whose best player is a mere 22 years old. Josh Reddick broke into the major leagues as a free-swinging 22-year-old on an otherwise veteran Red Sox team in 2009, a team led by playoff-tested veterans like David Ortiz, Jason Varitek, Kevin Youkilis as well as trade deadline acquisition Victor Martinez. Nearly 10 years later, Reddick is a playoff-tested veteran himself, this time on a Houston Astros team with World Series aspiration, a Houston Astros team whose best player is a mere 22 years old. We really felt like his style and personality would fit well with the guys that we have here, Astros general manager Jeff Luhnow said. It's not necessarily a great fit everywhere, but here we thought it would be a great fit. The Red Sox unearthed Reddick out of Middle George College in the 2006 draft, a rare diamond in the rough in an era in which any prospect with a pulse tends to be well known before draft day. His power came with a propensity to chase, and so he tended to be overshadowed by more well-regarded prospects like Lars Anderson and Ryan Kalish. Reddick was traded to Oakland as the centerpiece of an ill-advised deal for relief pitcher Andrew Bailey after the 2011 season. It was in Oakland that Reddick established himself as a major league hitter, hitting 32 home runs in 2012 and slugging .440 in parts of 5 seasons with the Athletics. Reddick's Athletics made 3 trips to the postseason in the years he was there, 2 more than the Red Sox team he'd left behind. He made another trip to the postseason last year after a July trade to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Such production prompted Houston to lavish a 4-year, $52 million contract on Reddick 2 weeks before the December winter meetings that normally start the off-season in earnest. He has put up about the same numbers thus far with the Astros that he did in Oakland, an on-base percentage around .335, a slugging percentage around .440. He's a very productive player in the prime of his career who still has a lot of tools that we think will allow him to play into his mid to late 30s, Luhnow said. With Reddick in right field every day at least until he suffered a concussion after slamming into the outfield fence earlier this week, the Astros are running away with the American League West. They made the choice pretty easy by being so aggressive in the free agency process, he said. But after having played against these guys for the better part of 3 years, I realized they were coming around and had a feeling they were going to be something to be reckoned with. Part of the attraction for Houston was the personality Reddick had been able to let shine in Oakland, a personality he'd tended to keep under wraps as a youngster in Boston. Reddick doesn't have to be the elder statesman of the team. That's more of a job for Carlos Beltran and Brian McCann. What Reddick can do is set a tone, the same tone he set with his flamboyance and his hustle and his Batman undergarments with similarly young Oakland teams. Sometimes I get asked my opinion about certain things, he said. But if somebody needs to step up, Carlos has a pretty good feel for that. I'm not really the guy to have a team meeting. I'd rather go out there and show it on the field, show any of these kids that if they feel like they need to slack off, I'm going to bust my butt every play.